So we're going to start with a video.
This is an overhead view that shows the group walking southbound on Columbus from Buckingham Fountain toward the Columbus statue. Several thousand people. And I'd like to point out the size of the banners in the front, which are approximately 5 to 6 feet tall, and all connected by PVC pipe, which will become important later on. So here you can see minimal police presence at this location. We have police cars in the rear to protect the rear from any vehicles that may come up behind First Amendment protesters that walk down the streets, and they have been doing that throughout the last month and a half. This is where you see the crowd start to march into Grant Park behind the Columbus statue, so they would be just north of the Columbus statue heading into the park. Okay, here's where we see the protest take a turn for the worse and turn into a riot situation. A lot of these individuals put up umbrellas and hid behind those banners among the foliage down the hill, so shielded from our officers' sight who are on the ground. And as you can see where the arrow is pointing out, this is just showing an individual changing from his clothing into all black clothing. And you'll see as the video progresses how they form up and march toward the statue. So here, again, a lot of the protesters are moving in front to shield this group who are all changing clothes and preparing weapons to be thrown at the officers who are standing at the statue, which is approximately half a block away. And now, again, you see the protesters moving in a platoon-like fashion with the banner that is all connected by PVC pipe towards the statue. And here's where they start marching south in Grant Park towards the statue. The PVC pipe is then taken apart from the banners, and a lot of that PVC pipe was sharpened on the ends to a point, which was being jabbed at the officers up when they get closer to the statue, and you'll see a video of that. Now they're forming up. You'll see the banners come down, and then they start moving. What you don't see from this video on the back end is a lot of the bicycles that are forming a wall around the bicycle behind. So here's a gentleman dumping out weapons to be thrown at the police, and immediately they start multiple felonies of throwing objects at the police who were standing on the statue. We've seen frozen water bottles, frozen cans of different types of substances, rocks, explosive devices, and then obviously here comes the PVC with the banner that was broken apart and then jabbed at the officers. I want to point out that we've had multiple protests at the statue prior to this event that were all peaceful, and we respected everyone's First Amendment right to protest peacefully, but this was not, what you're seeing here was obviously an ambush on the police officers. So within the group, there are people pushing carts and holding bags that had the items to be thrown at police. So they had multiple restocking of items to throw at the police, weapons basically. And here's another look from the statue looking out southbound. And you can just see the volume that the officers were under, the volume of attack. We had multiple officers injured, multiple officers concussed. Then I'd like to point out there's the sticks being thrown. The officers At one point, you'll see one of the officers move over, an incendiary device or an explosive device blows up near his eye, and you can see him walk away holding his eye. That officer's eye is damaged. He has to go back daily to have his eye checked by the eye doctor and may require surgery. Going to happen here shortly. You'll see the officer in the white shirt, the sergeant, walk away holding his eye after that explosive device blew up in his eye right there. Here's more incendiary devices that were thrown at the officers. With that, I'll turn it back over to the superintendent.
So over the last several weeks, including last weekend, the Chicago